On some real shit, I gotta keep it so 100. I ain't never like you, cuz. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never like your bitch. I ain't never like you, cuz. You know I ain't like you. In the street, like we ain't gonna talk about that over here.
Is there anybody 50 Cent fears ever historically in life?
You watch that guy that just has zero fear and say, yeah, we can get him. He tough. We're gonna have a hard time chewing on him, but we're gonna get him.
You've been shot how many times? 9 times.
Where were you shot?
Most of them in the legs. I got hit in my hand and I got hit in the face.
Pain-wise, how bad is it to get shot in the face?
Probably.
Is it a 10?
It's not really like as painful as having to visit the dentist repeatedly for root canal.
What is it still in your tongue?
Yeah, it's great for oral sex.
Did you ever find out who did it?
Yeah, I know who did it shortly after.
And they are now where?
The guy who actually shot me is dead.
Few artists have built a reputation for fearlessness quite like 50 Cent. Throughout his career, he has rarely backed away from confrontation, whether the challenge came from the streets, the music industry, or powerful figures in entertainment. Surviving being shot 9 times only strengthened the image that he was someone who refused to be intimidated. Over the years, 50 developed another reputation as well.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually. But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day?
I'm just not with all that flicky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Being one of the first people to publicly question stories that others avoided. Long before certain industry controversies dominated headlines, he had already been making comments through interviews and social media, leading many fans to believe he often notices patterns before the wider public does. Whether people agree with his opinions or not, his willingness to speak has become one of the defining parts of his public image. That approach became even more visible following the success of Sean Combs' The Reckoning. The documentary quickly became one of Netflix's most discussed releases, and 50 explained that his goal wasn't simply to generate controversy. Instead, he said the project aimed to present a broader picture of the allegations, while making it clear that the actions of one individual should not be treated as a reflection of hip-hop culture as a whole. The filmmakers also emphasized the importance of providing context rather than focusing only on sensational headlines. Because of that reputation, people pay close attention whenever 50 speaks seriously about another artist. Unlike his usual jokes and memes, those moments often spark much deeper conversations throughout the music industry. One of the names that recently entered those discussions was Pooh Shiesty. During interviews and podcasts, 50 shared concerns about the rapper, suggesting that many people may not fully understand the seriousness of certain situations surrounding him. Rather than delivering dramatic accusations, he spoke cautiously, encouraging listeners to look beyond surface impressions. His comments quickly spread across social media, where fans debated exactly what he meant. The conversation also expanded into a broader discussion about loyalty within the music business. Some commentators questioned whether younger artists always appreciate the people who help create opportunities for them, while others argued that every situation is different and shouldn't be judged from the outside. Those differing opinions kept the debate active across podcasts, live streams, and reaction channels.
One night, me and a couple of my boys decided to go to Bentley's, an upscale hip-hop spot in Manhattan. We pulled up in my 400 SE Benz. Not many people had one. As I cruised past the club, out of nowhere, someone ran up on my car and slapped the hood, and my displeasure must have shown on my face. The guy quickly apologized. I thought you was my man Kenny. He got the same whip. Once my alarm subsided, I took a good look at who was talking to me. It was Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, one of my heroes. I immediately pulled the car over, jumped out, and gave Jay a pound. I told him I was from South Jamaica and had always followed his career. He laughed and apologized again for running up on me, explaining he thought I was NBA star Kenny Anderson, another Queens native. I asked Jay if he was about to go into Bentley's. No doubt I'm about to run up in this spot and see what's up, he said. I decided to decisively seize the moment. Yo, we coming with you, I told him. Jay looked at me and then said, that's what's up, let's go. Just like that, we were past the bouncers and inside Bentley's. We would never have gotten in without him. He literally walked me into the music business. That night, Jay and I formed a friendship, which eventually led to me signing with JMJ Records.
Jam Master Jay really worked with 50 to kind of help him structure his raps and everything?
Jam Master Jay taught 50 structure.
Okay, were you there when that was happening?
And you gotta think, no, I used to go to the studio. I went to the studio a couple of times, but I was selling drugs and I was busy. And Fifth, at that time he had a Benz. So that's what really,
caught on to, the art of seduction. If a motherfucker already got money already, listen, a motherfucker only do favors for you when you don't need a favor. When I'm fucked up and I need a favor, motherfuckers ain't gonna give me no favor. But when I don't need a favor, a motherfucker's gonna do a favor for me. So, Fifth already had money. He had a Mercedes-Benz, 17, 16. He had a 4Runner, he had a Mercedes-Benz. He had cars already. He was doing everything a rapper do, had chains, had all that already. Went around with thousands. So Jay fucked with him because he seen him at the club in a big-ass Benz. Know what I'm saying? And rest in peace to Jay, man.
Part of what makes 50's perspective stand out is the life experience behind it. Having survived violence, legal battles, and years of industry conflicts, he has often said that the most dangerous people aren't always found in the streets. In his view, ruthless decision-making can exist just as easily inside boardrooms and corporate offices, where careers and reputations are sometimes treated as collateral damage in the pursuit of success. That outlook has shaped the way he approaches nearly every public controversy. Instead of reacting emotionally, he often studies situations before speaking, choosing his words carefully when he believes a subject deserves more than a quick social media joke. Longtime fans have noticed that whenever 50 pauses before answering a difficult question, it's usually because he's weighing the impact of what he is about to say. One interview in particular caught viewers' attention. What began as a routine conversation about television, business, and music shifted when the discussion turned toward Pooh Shiesty. Rather than chasing a viral moment, 50 responded in a calm, measured way, suggesting that appearances can sometimes hide a much more complicated reality. The brief exchange immediately generated headlines because many listeners felt there was a deeper message behind his words. Long before becoming one of hip-hop's most influential figures, however, 50's own journey was shaped by another legendary name, Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. Their first meeting happened by chance outside a New York nightclub, but that unexpected encounter would become one of the turning points in 50's career. The friendship eventually led to Jam Master Jay mentoring the young rapper and introducing him to the fundamentals of songwriting and song structure. While 50 was still trying to balance music with life on the streets, Jay recognized his potential and helped him develop the skills that would later define his career. Many people close to that period have credited Jam Master Jay with giving 50 some of the earliest guidance that helped transform raw talent into professional artistry. Looking back, it's clear those early experiences shaped much of the person 50 Cent would eventually become. The lessons he learned about survival, loyalty, business, and the music industry continue influencing how he views controversy today. Whether discussing major industry figures or rising artists, he approaches those conversations from decades of firsthand experience. And that's one reason his opinions continue generating headlines whenever he decides to speak. Long before 50 Cent became a major name in music, he already carried himself like someone who had options. People around him recalled that he owned expensive cars, wore jewelry, and moved with the confidence of an established artist before the industry officially embraced him. That image reportedly helped catch Jam Master Jay's attention, because 50 didn't appear desperate for an opportunity. He looked like someone already preparing for the next level. That early confidence would later shape the way 50 judged people in both the streets and the business world. He has often argued that the most ruthless individuals aren't always the loudest or most obvious. In his view, some people become dangerous because of their surroundings, while others seem powerful enough to change the entire atmosphere around them. 50 has also said that ruthless behavior can exist far beyond street life. He once compared it to a prosecutor seeking a harsh sentence because a major conviction could advance a career. From that perspective, the person receiving the punishment can become little more than collateral damage. To 50, boardrooms, courtrooms, and corporate offices can sometimes be even colder than the streets. That mindset became central to his comments about Pooh Shiesty. Rather than describing him as just another young rapper with a tough image, 50 suggested that Shiesty carried a presence that felt different. His remarks were calm and carefully measured, which only made them more intense. According to 50's perspective, Shiesty appeared to have the kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need constant attention. He pointed to the rapper's awareness, body language, and controlled way of carrying himself. To him, those traits seemed less like performance and more like something shaped by real experience. The comments immediately caught fire online. Fans, podcast hosts, and hip-hop pages began debating whether 50 was offering praise, issuing a warning, or hinting at something deeper. He never fully explained himself, and that uncertainty made the discussion even bigger. To understand why his opinion carried so much weight, many people looked back at his history with Gucci Mane. The two artists have known each other for years and have publicly shown mutual respect. Both built successful careers after difficult periods, and both understand the pressure of running businesses while trying to guide younger talent. Because of that background, fans believe 50 has watched the rise of Gucci's 1017 label closely. He has seen artists come and go, public disagreements develop, and promising careers become complicated by legal trouble, loyalty issues, and the demands of fame. Having managed artists and built companies himself, 50 understands how quickly those relationships can change behind closed doors. He has also acknowledged that Pooh Shiesty's music was strong, but he suggested that the music wasn't the only thing that caught his attention. What stood out most, according to 50, was the rapper's presence. It reminded him of people he encountered while growing up in South Jamaica, Queens, people who lived under a constant pressure and learned to stay alert without showing fear. From 50's point of view, some people adapt to difficult environments, while a smaller number begin influencing everyone around them. He appeared to place Shiesty closer to that second category, though he stopped short of presenting his opinion as fact. That distinction led to broader debates about Shiesty's career and his relationship with Gucci Mane. Some commentators accused him of failing to appreciate the opportunities and support Gucci provided, especially during his legal troubles. Others argued that outsiders don't know the full story and shouldn't reduce a complicated business relationship to online rumors. During another podcast discussion, 50 was asked to compare Pooh Shiesty with other rappers who built their music around street experiences. He rejected the idea that they should all be treated the same. According to him, similar lyrics don't automatically mean similar lives, motives, or limits. He explained that most people have an internal boundary they eventually refuse to cross, even under extreme pressure. Those boundaries differ from person to person, but in his experience, nearly everyone has one. He then suggested that only a very small number of people seem to operate without those same restraints, and that their stories often end in tragedy, prison, or permanent consequences. When the host asked whether he was placing Pooh Shiesty in that category, 50 refused to give a direct answer. Instead, he left the meaning open, allowing listeners to draw their own conclusions. That brief moment quickly became one of the interview's most discussed clips. The power of those comments came from what 50 left unsaid. He didn't make a direct accusation, and he didn't claim to know Shiesty's future. He simply framed his opinion through years of personal experience involving violence, survival, business, and the music industry. Around the same time, rumors began circulating that 50 had privately discussed the situation with people close to the industry, including possible conversations involving Gucci Mane. None of those claims were publicly confirmed, but they added another layer of mystery to remarks that were already generating serious attention. Neither 50 Cent nor Gucci Mane has publicly confirmed that any private conversation took place, so the reported call remains unverified. Still, rumors about it spread quickly after growing media coverage pushed the situation far beyond ordinary music industry gossip. According to those reports, the alleged discussion wasn't centered only on money or business disagreements. Some sources claim 50 believed the deeper issue involved personal tension, resentment, and emotions that can become difficult to control once a conflict turns public. Without direct confirmation, however, those descriptions remain speculation rather than established fact. Even so, the rumors triggered intense debate across hip-hop media. Fans began searching for clues in interviews, social media posts, and past statements, convinced there might be a larger story developing behind the scenes. Before long, the conversation had expanded beyond music and become one of the most closely analyzed topics in rap. The reported idea that caught the most attention was simple. Financial disputes can often be resolved through contracts, negotiations, or payments, but personal resentment is much harder to fix. Whether 50 actually said that in private remains unknown, yet the concept fits many of the lessons he has shared publicly throughout his career. 50 has often spoken about how quickly business problems can become personal when people feel ignored, embarrassed, or disrespected. His own early career included conflicts that moved far beyond contracts, giving him first-hand experience with how pride and anger can change the direction of a disagreement. In another interview, 50 appeared to recognize parts of his younger self in the situations surrounding Pooh Shiesty. He spoke about hunger, frustration, and the desire to prove a point when someone feels disrespected. At the same time, he acknowledged that an established businessman sees those conflicts differently because there is far more to lose. According to 50, his own mindset changed as his career grew. Success forced him to think beyond the immediate moment and consider the consequences of every decision. When discussing Shiesty, he questioned whether a similar change could happen under such intense pressure, while making it clear that this was his personal assessment rather than a confirmed prediction. Then came the social media post that pushed the mystery even further. 50 reportedly uploaded a split image showing Pooh Shiesty beside a focused wolf, with the caption, "Same energy." The post disappeared quickly, but screenshots had already begun circulating across the internet. The deleted image immediately divided viewers. Some interpreted it as praise for Shiesty's alert and controlled presence, while others saw it as a warning about the path ahead. Because 50 removed the post so quickly, the lack of explanation created even more speculation instead of shutting the conversation down. In the days that followed, 50 shifted his attention toward the wider music business. He argued that labels sometimes sign artists because of their difficult backgrounds, build marketing campaigns around those experiences, and profit from an image of danger and authenticity. Then, when real-life complications follow, the same industry acts completely surprised. His argument was that the business cannot celebrate a fearless image only when it helps sell records. Labels, media outlets, and fans often reward artists for appearing unpredictable, intense, and connected to real street experiences. But when that reality becomes uncomfortable, many of the same people suddenly distance themselves. That perspective turned the discussion into something much larger than one rapper's situation. It raised questions about how the industry markets young artists, what kind of behavior audiences reward, and whether companies fully understand the long-term risks connected to the images they promote. Critics argued that every artist is responsible for personal choices, regardless of marketing. Others believe 50 had exposed an uncomfortable contradiction inside the music business. Both sides agreed on one thing. The industry often profits from authenticity without always preparing artists for the consequences that can come with fame. Another reason the story kept growing was 50's suggestion that certain details were not his to reveal. During several interviews, he hinted that timing mattered and that some information should remain private. He never confirmed possessing secret evidence, but his careful wording was enough to send social media into overdrive. For someone known for speaking directly and rarely avoiding controversy, that restraint stood out. Fans began wondering whether he was protecting a private conversation, respecting legal boundaries, or simply refusing to repeat industry rumors without proof. Whatever the reason, saying less made people analyze his comments even more. Some online theories claim 50 knew information that could completely change the public conversation. Others believed he was simply using mystery to keep audiences engaged. None of those theories has been confirmed, and 50 has not publicly provided evidence supporting the more dramatic interpretations. Still, his growing work in documentaries and true crime television added another layer to the discussion. Through G-Unit Film and Television, 50 has built a successful career turning complicated real-life stories into major productions. That history led some fans to wonder whether his interest in the situation could eventually become something larger. There is currently no confirmed documentary project centered on Pooh Shiesty or the reported tensions being discussed online. But 50's reputation as a producer guarantees that every serious comment he makes will be examined for possible clues. Ultimately, the story remains a mixture of public statements, personal opinions, deleted posts, and unverified reports. As more confirmed information emerges, the meaning behind 50 Cent's comments may become clearer. Until then, the mystery surrounding what he knows and what he refuses to say will continue keeping hip-hop audiences locked into every update. What do you think 50 Cent was really trying to communicate? Was he offering a warning based on his own experiences, criticizing the music industry, or simply encouraging people to look beyond the headlines? Share your thoughts below and remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next major update.